Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? I was busy yesterday. We're back today. So, my little Daria picture. All right, so we look at gold. 31.28 now. It's past the 10 o'clock drop. They're still doing the 10 o'clock drop, and they did a 4 o'clock drop and a 2 o'clock drop. So they keep doing it. It keeps getting pushed, but notice it's 31.28. Notice how it got attacked. It was 30.20, and then it just shot to 30.50, to 30.70, to 31, to 31.40. And now a little pullback. It is not profit taking. There's no such thing. And this will just keep going up. We could get 3,200 by Friday, and on and on and on, because people that are buying physical will never sell it. Because if you sell your physical gold, you got to get back into the Titanic as it's sinking. So you never get off the lifeboat. That would be incredibly stupid. All right, so we see gold going and going. It's now 31.38. I'll go into eBay. We'll take a look around there. Got the Mantle card out and the Maze card. And we can talk about that. These markets, these are what's demanded. These are both very perfect cards. Here's a Mark Messier card, a Blue Ice, which is a very pretty card. He's not the greatest, but you notice they're limited to 250. So again, it's another market that's driven. And then I added this card, the AL Bombers out of the 1968 set. K-Line and Cash and Roger Maris and Mantle. Actually, this might be even earlier, because Roger Maris, I don't think was on the Yankees in 68. I think it was on the Cardinals, because the Tigers played him in the World Series, unless it was an earlier game. But anytime you got Mantle, see, this is the thing. Anytime you got Mantle in a card and you got K-Line with them and Roger Maris, you think, wow, it's just a nothing card, or it's a subset. It's not his real card. It's got value. They all have value. What do I got here? So, that's what we have for you today. Silver, 33.85. Oops, what happened to the silver squeeze? I told you what would happen to it. Nothing would happen. I don't understand. People that call themselves economists or gold people or silver people, how stupid they are. Now, I'm going to give you the perfect example that I gave Alyssa yesterday about price fixing. And it came from talking about the silver squeeze. So everybody's buying silver, hoping the price will go up. But the price doesn't go up because you buy, because that's what happens in eBay, but not what happens when it's price fixed. So Alyssa was JP Morgan. So I said to her, you're running a restaurant. You're selling hamburgers, and you're selling them at $10 a burger. But I said, Alyssa, you set the price. So you want the price to be $10. So no matter what happens, you're the person setting the price. And you're not looking at the market. You're just saying, I'm going to charge $10, which is what happens in COMEX, especially silver, more than gold right now. Gold, because of Basel III, is moving. Silver, ain't moving anywhere because Alyssa doesn't want it to move. In this case, JP Morgan. So when you have JP Morgan price fixing it, it doesn't matter the activity in the market. So if we go back to our restaurant, Alyssa says hamburgers are $10. And if nobody comes in, she still keeps them at 10. If 1,000 people come in and want the hamburger, she still keeps it at 10. That's price fixing. She ignores the market. She simply sells it for what she wants to sell it. Maybe her costs are $7, and she's like, screw it, my cost is $7. I want to make 20%, whatever. I'm going to charge $10. And that's basically where she's at. She's going to charge $10, and that's it. And no matter what the market does, it's $10. Sound familiar? What's JP Morgan do? They do derivatives to set the price. It's at 33.83. But the market says, no, we'll buy it. I don't know what was done yesterday, but it doesn't matter. We'll buy it. JP Morgan, no, I want the price 33.83, like I want the hamburger at $10. I'm not changing the price. I don't care what the market says. I don't care how many people order it or don't order it. The burger's 10, the silver is going to stay under 35. And so he keeps the price of silver down under 35. Come hell or high water, I don't care how many people buy the silver or don't buy the silver, that's the price. That's what you're looking at with the silver squeeze. How can you make this 33.82 go up? You can't. Because Jamie Dimon is setting the price, right? That's who sets the price, not the market. So if everybody comes and wants 100 ounces of silver, it ain't going to happen. I can move this over here. It'll never move unless JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon moves it. That's what's called price fixing. That's the problem with communism and socialism and fascism. Any one of the isms where they set the price instead of the market. That's why capitalism works. That's why Adam Smith works. That's why America used to work. It was free market. What the market dictated is where the price would go up and down, which is what eBay basically is, except for the gold and silver on eBay. So you're sitting there, and Alyssa understood it, right? She doesn't have a background in economics, but she understood what I was saying about it doesn't matter what happens, you're the one setting the price. And that's, if you understand it in terms like that, then how can you silver squeeze silver? Everybody could have bought silver yesterday. The price is set at what Jamie Dimon wants it at. And she's price fixing it. So in a price fixed economy where the government controls the price instead of the market, it's $10. That's what it's at. And that's basically what happened yesterday with the silver squeeze. Oh, silver's 33.79. It was 34.79 last week. Why won't silver go up? Because Jamie Dimon is price fixing it, doesn't want it to go up because all the banks will explode or implode because they don't have all their derivatives will trigger at 35. And they'll have to owe trillions of dollars on these shorts that they did, like a bunch of idiots shorting silver when everybody else is buying it. So instead of just buying the silver and letting the price go up and making a fortune on the silver, they try to make money by shorting it. I mean, even the concept is beyond me. I don't get it. You could make a lot more if you just bought silver and let the price run, because that's real money, which obviously they don't understand what real money is, what silver and what gold is. So, simply put, if somebody is price fixing an item, they don't listen to the market, aka more silver than gold now, but basically gold and silver is how it's done. And that's what you get. You get that. And it doesn't matter who and how many people buy, that price isn't moving because the mover of the price is not the market, it's the price fixer. So that's a perfect example of what Comex is. It's a price fixer. Comex is setting the price on coffee, on orange juice, whatever else Eddie Murphy had there, gold. I think there was one or two, bacon, the pork bellies, and the kid with the G.I. Joe grip and everything. That's how the price is set by J.P. Morgan, setting the price, saying this is what we want it to be at, instead of the market. So if Alyssa would have done her hamburger and there was everybody ordering at $10, what would you do? You would raise the price to 11 or to 12. As long as there's a lot of people ordering it, you can raise the price because the demand is there. So again, that's why you're working off of demand. And if $10 and nobody orders it, then you lower the price to 9 or 8. And if you cost you 7 and you can't get 8 for it, what do? You take it off the menu because I can't sell and make money. There's no market for it. Aha, as we market. These are markets. These are highly demanded figures that create markets. Everybody wants this card. Everybody wants this card. God, I hope it's a 10. That's the whole point of what the market is. This is why I buy Messier is not necessarily a market, but 250 is a market, right? That's what a market is. Oh, I'm interested in it because there's only 250. Beautiful card, this Flare Black, Flare Blue Ice. It's a blue ice collection. Very pretty card in the blue. It's a 96-97 Flare, and I highly recommend. It's not expensive because there's 250 of them, and apparently that's a huge number of quantity, and so you can get that. But if you just want the card because it's a pretty card, you get all the stars: Lemieux, Gretzky, Yzerman, Roy, Hasek, Brodeur. Everybody's in the set. That was the thing about hockey in the 90s. You'd get all those, plus you'd add Korea and Timo Solani and Pavel Bure, Yamir Yeager. I mean, you'd have 20 guys. That's how I collected. I'd see a set like that, and it was 250 count, and they wouldn't be. They'd be $40, $50, and I'd just give me this one and that one and that one. But we would check condition. We always made sure. There's not the centering issue here. As you can see, there's really no borders to center it. It's strictly corners, and then it's strictly, is there anything on the pitcher? And as long as there wasn't, it was a very easy, but you can see here, you can see the centering issues. Now, this is absolutely centered very nicely. Maybe a little top to bottom, left to right looks very good. A little bit here is a little bit thinner than there. I should get a 9 on this, but I could get a 10. And that's where the centering issues came in on tops. They didn't really quality control it, so it never really got every card perfectly centered, which if you had a perfectly centered one, it was worth 100 times more than you thought, because if it's a 10, it's worth a fortune, especially Mantle. This is his last card. This is his 68 card. We saw it go for 80,000 on a PSA 9. So PSA 9 was 80,000 because, like the rookie card, this is his last card. And apparently, if that Yankees is in white, it's either worth more or less than the yellow. This might be the error because you can see first base is in yellow. But anyway, so being his last card, Let's compare him to Bobby Bowe. He was up 7,600 at bats, 2,300 hits, 330 doubles, 71 triples, 518 home runs, just a little bit more than you, Bobby. RBIs 1455 and an average of 302 was his average. See, and I look at the 302 average, the 500 homers, and the 1455 RBIs and all the clutch hits he got. I don't care what his OPS was, or if he hits 500 home runs and bats 302, do I give a shit what his OPS is, which I can't even figure out? Do I give a shit what his WAR is, which I can't figure out? No, he produced 500 homers. In the last, well, even in 67, he hit 22 homers. 68, he didn't hit anything. He had 50 homers in 54 in 61, 1961, 40 in 1960, 30 in 1962, 35 in 1964. I think they went to the World Series. And 26, that was in Joplin in 1950. So he got 37 in 55. 56, he won the Triple Crown. 52 homers, 130 RBIs, and he hit 353. Jesus Christ. That's Mickey Mantle. He hits 365 in 1957, 34 homers, and 94 runs batted in. This is why that's the critical thing, is it's the average homers and the runs batted in is the critical one, not the fucking OPS and WAR, which nobody even knows. You look up WAR, I don't know what it is. Now here's Willie Mays. He played longer. Mantle ended in 68. Mays ended, I think, in 71 or 72. He was on the New York Mets team that got to the playoffs in 71, I think. Now, so far, he's got 564 homers, 1,500 RBIs, and he hit 309. Oh, he was in the military part of 52. What war was going on then? So, in case you're wondering, the New York Giants, 57 were in New York, 58 moved to San Francisco. This guy hit 300 just about every year, except for when he got to the end. That's what I mean by market, right? Anything with Mantle and Mays, market, you'd buy. Who do you have now? Shohei Ohtani? I don't think so. Mike Trout, what does he play, 5 games a year? And then these new stats, WAR. What was Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays' WAR? Who gives a fuck? Do we really care what their WAR is? Do we really care what their OPS is? No. They hit over 300 and they hit 500 home runs and drove in, 90, 100 runs a year. That's what you look for. So, they try to make updates to these stats. And you sit there and scratch your head going, I don't think so. No. That doesn't make sense. WAR doesn't make sense. Try reading the definition. OPS, I don't know what it is. I think they add walks, and I think they add of your hits, how many are extra base hits? Who cares? If the guy's hitting 3, they said that last year. Some guy had an OPS of 800, and I looked at his batting average, it was like 220. So of the 2 hits he got every 10, one of them was an extra base hit. Thrilling. But the key is, what's his batting average? And then they try to move all the players around to hit more home runs, but to get more strikeouts and lower batting average. It doesn't help. Who's the idiot who thought of that thought it would be a good thing? That's the thing. They make change to make changes, but that doesn't mean the changes are correct. Just give me home and give me average. That's when I look at average, and there's very few guys hitting 300, and you wonder why baseball sucks. You wonder why it's unwatchable. It's either home run or strikeout. It's just terrible. Whoever came up with that and whoever followed it really needs their head examined. OPS. Oh yeah, that tells you nothing. You see everything in Mantle and Mays. You see home runs, batting average, RBIs. They're clutch. They hit a lot of home runs and they hit an average, and that's what I would want out of my players. Can you hit 300 and can you drive in 30 home runs a year? Can you do like a Hank Aaron? I do have Hank Aaron in that set also. And that's what it is. So these are brands, but we don't price fix this. We let the market determine it. What's this going for? Well, if it based on grade, if it's a PSA 8, maybe 10 grand. A PSA 9 went for 80 grand. PSA 10, you're looking at $1 million. God, I'm praying it's a PSA 10. But you're looking at $1 million for it. Because how many are there? 5, 10? A 1968 Topps, how many 10s can there be? Because it's not only centered, but then the corners and the wear on the card from 1968, you didn't put it in these plastics. I remember my cards I put into a shoebox, and I put a rubber band around them. Incredibly stupid, but see how it is now. It's been like this since the 90s, so it hasn't worn. But now we open a pack, we put it in a plastic. Then you had nothing to put it in. So you're hoping the guy put it in a nice spot. But the stars are the markets, which means that's what people will demand, people will pay for. But if it's Joe Mantle, nobody cares. So that's what you're kind of avoiding. That's why you collect Mickey Mantle, because you know there's a market for it. Joe Montana, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Duke, right? Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. You're getting because there's a market for it, because they're popular. People want them. You don't want the other. So again, at the restaurant, if a lot of people want the hamburger, I got to raise the price on it. If nobody orders it, I got to take it off the menu. And that's what a good analyst will do. He would analyze, what are we selling? Okay, of all the goods we have, what's selling and what isn't? And obviously it's a price issue. So when I go to the barbecue place and I tell them you can't make the ribs $45 a slab, nobody will buy it because the market is here and you can't be up here. Who are you going to sell to? So like yesterday, if the hamburgers, we got hamburgers, if the hamburgers were $10, $11, were $20, I'd have got a bowl of soup. I mean, I wouldn't eat a hamburger for 20 because I can substitute it. I can go to the grocery store and they're $5, $6 a pound for a hamburger, a good hamburger, right? So I can go for $6 a pound, get 3 pounds for $18, and 3 pounds will make me at least nine or 10 hamburgers. I can eat 10 hamburgers for the price you're charging me for one, and I'm making it in olive oil and cayenne pepper and Celtic salt and everything else. I'm making it good and making sure it's cooked and tasty. So why go out to the restaurant? See, that's my struggle. Why go out to the restaurant? I couldn't cook the steak better than they can. I can get a New York strip for $10. It was on sale. I got it. I'm going to cook that tonight, and I can have it and make it in olive oil with cayenne pepper and salt, and basically make it healthy, and I can cook it as the way I want it. And it's going to be $10 and not $50 or $30, right? So there's a big reason that I prefer to eat at home, but I do get out. I'll pick up the Chinese because that's pretty healthy. I think I told you I went to this deli near the Chinese restaurant. So I get the General Chow on Saturday, and then I go for okay, I'm going to stop at the deli and get a corned beef sandwich. I used to go there a lot. I haven't done it. Usually they're real big, thick, 1 pound corned beef sandwiches. So I look and it's $14. I says, well, I better be careful how much I'm getting. So I'm in line and I go to order. I go, how much is your corned beef? How much do you get in the corned beef sandwich? He says 6 ounces. I said, 6 ounces? Used to be a pound. You want to charge $14 for 6 ounces? I told them, see you later. I didn't buy it. Then I went to Kroger's and I got a pound of corned beef for $14. So instead of buying the 6 ounce sandwich, I got a pound for $14. And I can cook it. It's already cooked. You just put it in a frying pan and cook it up or eat it with the salad or whatever, or in your omelet. So I got 8 ways to eat it. Uh, but just, again, that's where $14 for a 6 ounce corned beef sandwich. I don't care what it costs you. I'm not, you're way above market. For a half pound sandwich, I might have paid 14. I said, wait a minute, 8 ounces to a half pound. So it wasn't even a half pound. You're $14. So for a pound, you're more than $28. And I can get it at Kroger's, and you can got to be able to get it cheaper because you're ordering it bulk. So Kroger's gets it at 14 a pound, and you want to charge me $30 for a pound? I don't think so. I didn't get and they were very expensive. All their potato salad or coleslaw was expensive. I was going to get like soup, chicken noodle soup or matzo ball soup, and it was like $9 for, okay, so see you guys later. I made a mistake coming in here because you're nowhere near reality. Yesterday, so we were at Applebee's for lunch, and I would short that stock. There was nobody in it. It took us a half hour to get a hamburger. I got French onion soup, and I think she just got a hamburger with macaroni and cheese as the side. And it was like, it's a half hour. What the fuck? What? There's nobody in here. Why is it a half hour? And I said, give me my soup first, which they didn't do. And it was like, I told her, we're not coming back here. There's other restaurants we can go to before we come back here. She likes it because she can get a drink there, and you can't get a drink at like Coney Island. But I'm like, I'm not, so we have our limits of the cost you want to pay. Is it worth your price? Right? Is the corned beef sandwich worth $14 for only 6 ounces? No. Had it been 12 ounces, I would have got it. But for 6 ounces, because I can go to Kroger's or go to, Meijer's or any, I can go to any grocery store and get the corned beef for, let's say, $13, $14 for a pound of it. What's the difference? So it makes no sense. That's why you substitute things, and cost is cost. And we'll see, but it made no sense. But that's the market, right? So the market spoke at the deli saying, no, it's too expensive. Now, will they lower their price? Eventually they will, even though their costs went up. If nobody buys it, they have to lower their price because you're not selling it. So you can't keep the lights on and pay your rent like the coin guy does if you don't sell anything. But just because your costs go up doesn't mean you can raise prices. Because if we don't buy it, I don't pay $14 for 6 ounce corned beef. You can't sell it, you go out of business. So you either go out of business because you can't sell it, or you go out of business because nobody will buy your thing. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But if nobody will buy your product, you got to go out of business. Or the other option I was going to say is if you lowered that to 6 ounces, like $6, but then you don't make any money on it. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you raise prices. There's no demand, and if you lower prices, there's no income. So you better stop carrying that, or you better figure out a way to do it. And that's what I warned the barbecue place. He had 3 barbecue places. Now he's got 1. The 2 others closed. I assume they tried making the ribs $40, although I don't know. But now he's got one, and he either listens to me and stays in business or he doesn't. But if he starts shooting $45 for ribs, he's in trouble. If he keeps it at 30, he sells. What does he make profit? And that's, there was some people in when we went in there last week. So it's just a matter of how you make your money, but you've got to, if you can't, if you cannot, if you need to sell the ribs at 45 and you can't, you're out of business. There's no market. There's no, if your price is up here and the market's down here, you're fucked. And if you need to price it here, you're fucked. You go out of business. Or you sell it here and then you lose money and you go out of business. Again, you've got to be able to cover your costs by about usually a 20%. So your costs are the ribs plus your costs are the cooks and the ovens and the heat and the air conditioning and your staff. Potential spam. I don't answer. That's your problem. So going into business, you have to figure out your cost. You have to understand the market. You have to see, okay, I want to make 20%. So I can go buy gold and silver with it. And then you see, and then you go, is there the market? So if my costs are 20 and I want to sell for 25, is the market allowing me to charge 25? If it does, then I go into business. If it doesn't, I got to get out of business. And that's what the problem is with a lot of these restaurants now. We went by a Boston Market was closed. Rite Aid was closed. So we're seeing a lot of closed stores. A lot of strip malls are closed. And you're really going to see the banks start collapsing because they've loaned out the money they can't get back. And they won't be able to get bailed out because there's no money to bail them out with. Hey, Prophet, I see gold is on the move, and that's no April Fool's joke. Well, it's been moving. It broke 3,000, and it took about a day to go to 3,100, as I thought. It's just watching a little bit today. By the end of the week, we should be at 3,200. And there's no pullback in sight because, again, JP Morgan is the one setting the price. And if the price is too low, so let's take a look at the hamburger. JP Morgan's price fixing the hamburger at 10, and there's huge demand for it. He should be charging 20, but he doesn't. So he's missing the opportunity of making more profit. Well, that's what he's doing in silver. Silver's priced at 33.80, but the demand will pay 100. Why is he still selling it at 33.80? Because he's price fixing it. Had he not price fixed it and just followed the market as what should be with gold and silver and orange juice and coffee and G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, as he does that, silver would be much more. And that's what I keep saying. The silver demand price is way up here, $100, $200 an ounce, because you got to get out of the dollar. But here's COMEX at 33. So because COMEX is 33, you're attracting all these buyers because not only is it too low, but people realize it's the lifeboat. It's going to be 100, 500 an ounce, and I can get it for 33. So as long as people understand that, they're going to keep buying it at this ridiculously low price because he's selling the hamburger for $5 and the demand will pay 20 and he's at 5. And you're like, why isn't he watching the market? So why are you keeping the price of silver and gold down way under market? Because the conditions have changed. The variables have changed. Where the variables now are, we printed the money to nothing for the whole world. And now the whole world needs to get out of the dollars or go bankrupt. So it's like a company, right? They either If they can't get their 20%, they go out of business, or you don't even enter the business. So I wouldn't enter a restaurant right now. I can't make any money at it. Another thing is people don't have money to pay for it. So you're taking the money out of the people's hands, so they're not spending. So you're fucked anyway. But in this case, so if my costs are 20 and I can't get 25, I can't enter the market, or if that's I'm in the market and the variables have changed, I got to get out of the market. But if there's demand, how do you not raise your price? And that's the problem with gold and silver. The demand's huge, and you're keeping the price at 33 and gold's at 30. Well, gold's gone up a little bit, but it's probably 20,000 an ounce, and you're down here at 3. Look how quick it went from 2 to 3, and it hasn't slowed down because people need it. So the variable that's changed is you must get out of your dollar because it's worthless, and the only lifeboat is gold and silver. That's a variable that changes. That's when I talk football and the algorithms. That's what I mean by it, is all of a sudden the variables change. All of a sudden Caleb's on the Bears. Well, I can't use the trend analysis I've been using because the variable Caleb Williams changed, and now they got a new coach changed. So all the variables have changed. Penix and Daniels and Bo Nix are now changing the variables on those teams. So I can't look at them. That's what's changed, and that's what you have to be aware of. And that's why when I see these technical analysis of what happened in 2008, I basically just look at it and go, but the variables change. It's called brics. It's called this massive inflation, which is printing the money to nothing, which people still have a hard time. People will sit there and they'll talk inflation and they'll go, well, there's inflation and the value of the money is dropping. You're like, Jesus, what an idiot. That's what inflation is, the value of the money dropping. So why do you say inflation? And then they're meaning cost, they're meaning prices, which is not inflation. It's the money being worthless. So again, that's a variable that's changed. So what happened in 2008, it's not going to happen now because you have a different variables. How do you analyze that? You can't. You cannot do technical analysis. It doesn't work unless the variables don't change. As I said, you're doing Tom Brady at New England and he gets traded to Tampa. I can't use the New England trends because he's not there. And I can't use the Tampa trends because now you've got Tom Brady. But people would still use the technical trend. Well, I can use the technical. No, you can't, because the analysis has totally changed. The variables of Brady going team A to B or Peyton Manning have totally changed, so you cannot use that. Excuse me. So gold and silver, we realize as price fixed that whatever JP Morgan wants the price is what it is, independent of the market. So how the fuck do you think a silver squeeze is going to work? What point is how? Because you're saying we'll all go buy silver. Okay, go ahead. So if everybody bought silver, it doesn't matter because Jamie Dimon's like, this is the price I want on it. Even though he's losing money, well, he's not the one selling it. He's just the one setting the price. If it was his store and he's in charge of setting the price on silver, he'd be an absolute idiot to not raise the price on it because of the demand. And that's the problem with paper gold. They're not looking at the physical market, which is what you do to change prices. You react to the prices. That's what the market's about. Oh, more people demand gold, and the price goes up. Less people demand it, price goes down. Not derivatives. So this price here, they're clueless on. They don't know. Anyway, so let's venture into eBay now. I'm noticing some strange things. So here's, well, let's go to a 1 ounce. All right, here's half ounce. Notice all the markets. There's an Eagle 1819, but it's Amp Max, which is more expensive. Then I get a Cougaran 1660, and it's BGACS. Then I got a half ounce MS69 for 1501. And then I get a Cougaran here for 1662. So why should I not buy American? I don't get it. The Cougarans are 1660. An Eagle 69 is only 1501. And Ampex, who's very expensive, is 1819 for an Eagle. Let's see. Here's what I want you to avoid. So here's an Eagle for 3350. It's not even an MS70, it's an MS68. Here's an Eagle 1721. Here's an Eagle 1632. So you can see there's different markets. Well, this is a bullshit one. JM Bullion never pulls it out. He just says out of stock. He thinks that's the clever way to do it. So anyway, we have 1721 for a half ounce, 1729 for a half ounce, and then you get this one, 3350 for a half ounce, graded MS68. The best grade's MS70. What the fuck's this guy doing? You do not want to buy this. This is about buying gold and silver, not buying like graded gold and silver. We're not playing that game. We want to accumulate and buy and grow our inventory in gold and silver. And so all I want is a half ounce or an ounce of gold. And it's a Liberty, so it's real. And I put a magnet to it, it's real. So therefore, that's all I'm trying to do. It's just like, okay, now I got 2 halves, I got an ounce. But what am I doing here? Why would I buy this? This is 3350. Now, I believe it's real. It's graded, but I'm not interested. I'm interested in this grade because this card will be worth a lot more money as a PSA 10 or a PSA 9 than it is just like this. But I'm not trying to get this graded because it's a half ounce, 1729. Here's 16. Well, no, that doesn't count. And then here's 3350. This doesn't count because it's out of stock and it's monkeying around with it. Here's 3350, and here's 1721. So I should pay about 1725 for a half ounce. Why would I pay 3350 for a half ounce? It's graded. I don't care. I'm not buying them for the grade. I'm buying them to buy gold and silver. There's a big difference there between buying in the Mano card. I can sell it for more because the condition's proven. Right? Is this a 10? Is this a 5? Well, it should be a 9, maybe a 10. That gets me more money to get it graded because people are going to buy based on condition. But not in gold. You're buying gold to buy gold. So I don't want to buy graded gold. I don't want to buy proof gold. It doesn't matter. That's not why I'm buying it. I'm buying because the ounce of gold is that. Because will I get, okay, let's say I pay $33.50 for it. Then gold goes up. And so again, this is priced as if it's an ounce. It's a half ounce, or here. This is a half ounce, but it's priced as if it's an ounce. I believe. Let's check, make sure it's a half ounce. Well, it says half. Oh, wait, let's see. Yeah, it's a half ounce. It says half ounce. If you can read it upside down, that's half ounce fine gold, $25. So he's pricing this as if it's an ounce. What the hell is he doing? 33.50 is what an ounce goes for. So if I'm going to pay 33.50, I'm going to buy an ounce. But I want to get as much gold as I can. So 1721 is sure beats 33.50 for the same amount. And if I'm going to pay 33.50, I sure would want an ounce over a half ounce. So be careful of these. This is bullshit, and I strongly advise not to pick it up. But most of these are about 1700. Here's another classic example. 1994 half ounce gold China Panda MS69 small date 51, and he wants 47.50 for it. Well, wait a minute. I can buy a US one for 1724. Why am I going to pay 47.50 for only an MS69? Doesn't make any sense. So be careful with that. If you're going to buy the half ounce, get the one for 1724. It's gold. This one is gold, but why am I paying 3 times as much for it? It just doesn't make any sense. And avoid that kind of stuff. That's the game we're playing. We don't give a shit about gold and silver graded like we do mantle cards. That's a whole. If I get that card graded and it's a 9, I'm getting $80,000. If I didn't get it graded, I'd get 2,000. The gold, I get whatever the gold's at. If it's graded, doesn't guarantee me to get that price for it. That's the problem. My guy ran out of gold and he gave me a tenth of an ounce that was graded, MS70. But he charged me $305 for it. He charged me what the price was, as if I was buying a regular tenth of an ounce gold. Even though it was graded 70, he says, we don't pay for the grade. We pay for the coin. And I says, exactly, I would never buy a graded coin because I'm just collecting inventory on my gold. So you can see gold here. Now we're up 3,300 for an ounce. Here's 32.98 for the ounce. Here's 32.31 for the Philharmonic. Again, struggling to find why the Philharmonic is so much cheaper than the Eagle when they're both an ounce of gold. And gold is spotted at gold, not U.S. gold or Philharmonic gold. It's not like it's mantle or maize, it's gold. So they're all gold. See, I can differentiate baseball knowing the mantle is worth more than the maize, right? And therefore, I will pay more for the mantle than the maize. But it doesn't work here. I'm not going to pay more for I'm getting an ounce of gold here and I'm getting an ounce of gold here. So if I can get this for $60 cheaper, what am I going to buy? The Philharmonic all day long. Because I'm still getting the ounce of gold. It doesn't matter. And people can't figure that out. Well, I want an Eagle. Why? Tax purposes or whatever? I don't really know why you want to pay more for the Eagle. If you have options, if the guy only has Eagle, then the guy has Eagle. That's it. So again, if you notice, there's several markets here. 31.99, 32.98, 32.31. Each one of these are different markets. So there's not necessarily, there's one market on the spot price. And even that, there's now going to be a Moscow exchange, a Shanghai exchange, and a Dubai exchange. So there's going to be 3 exchanges setting the price for it. Right now it's COMEX, so there's only one mechanism to price it. And then the selling price is going to be many. So don't think there's one market. So you can buy it. If you go here, you see 10 different, you'll see 10 different markets. Just go through it, make sure the seller's not from China, make sure the price makes sense, and make sure that this is what um, you're pretty sure it's real. And you look at the seller and he's got 1,000 positives, 99%. He's good. That's the beauty about eBay. If he was selling counterfeits, it'd be all over. So you buy it, and you're buying it to get out of the dollar, but there's many markets. So don't get caught into believing there's one market. Even Mickey, there's more than one market for him. As we see auctions, there was 4 or 5. Joe Montana had 4 or 5 different auctions for his rookie card. Willie Mays, there's not just one market. There's not one price. So that's why you kind of play around with them. But that's why if they're graded, if there's 5 PSA Mint 9 Manals, then you go to whoever's cheaper because you're going, well, it's already graded. I know I don't have to worry about that. Profit. Maybe there's a slight difference in the weight. No, that's we got 1 ounce gold. We got 1 ounce gold. We got 1 ounce gold. They're all 1 ounce. That's the point of it. There might be actually this is 22 karat and this is 24 karat. All that means is there's gold plus some copper and maybe some zinc in it, but it's 1 ounce of gold. And this is 24 karat, means there's 1 ounce of gold and very little copper in it. So it's mostly gold. Now, it doesn't matter. All we care about is the 1 ounce. That's what we want. But we want this to add to our inventory. We don't want to buy these gimmicks. Let's see. See, well, that's the half ounce. So even here, the Cougaran's $32.46. This guy's $3,300 for the Buffalo. Here's $32.44 for the Philharmonic. So they're pretty similar. Again, why buy the Buffalo? The Buffalo, I think, is 24 karat, but so is the Philharmonic. Do I care that it comes from Austria? Why would I? All I care about is I'm buying an ounce of gold. Why does it? And believe me, when the shit hits the fan and there's no gold to be had, and you got a Philharmonic, it's going for spot or over anyway. All right, this is the one I wanted to show you. This is a 1/4 ounce Sorcerer Mickey. It's from New Zealand, 69,000. But look, it was 99,000. He couldn't sell it at the market of 99,000, so he lowers the price to 69,000. That's a huge drop. He obviously wasn't getting any activity at 99, or maybe somebody said, I'll buy it for 69. It's not even a coin. It's a Mickey, so you've got to be into Disney. It says rarest. I don't know what's rare about it. All right, item description. This is the rarest, most coveted, and elite coin from the 2024 NIUE Agoro Disney New Zealand Mint Trading Card Coin. A beautiful design of Sorcerer Mickey. The coin is in the Ultimate Fine Onyx Sorcerer Mickey number 4 out of only 10. So he's trying to sell you this 1/4 ounce because it's limited edition to 10. Do we give a shit? No, because we're not playing that game. So it's New Zealand and it's a 10 count. So he wants 99. Now he wants 69. But a 1/4 ounce we can get for about $880, maybe $900. Why would I buy this? I don't want to buy this. I would probably buy this or this in a Mint 9 for 80,000. I could see that because everybody likes Madeline Mays, but I don't know about Disney, especially now. If anybody likes Disney, and I'm stuck to that. Like my guy has Donald Trump silver. He charges a few dollars more for it, and I said, I don't want it. I can't sell to people that don't like Donald Trump. They're never going to want it. Everybody likes an eagle. So I bought the eagle or the maple leaf. And that's the difference. So how many Disney people want this? It's limited to 10. Okay, but do I care? I'm not trying to buy a collectible. Like I said, this is the collectible I want to buy are these guys. But that's not what happens here. I'm not buying the collectible. I want to buy the gold. Look at all the gold I could buy for 69,000. So this is 3,300 for a 1 ounce maple leaf. That's 33 times 3 is 9, 20. I could buy like 20 some ounces of gold coins for the 1/4 ounce of that, which he can't get 99. He's trying for 69. If I bought it for 69 and I tried to sell it, could I get 69 for it? Who knows? It's not worth the risk. But I could buy 20 ounces of eagles or maple leafs or whatever. I can get 20 of them. Can I sell the 20 just at spot in a heartbeat? So why take the risk buying it? Will you get it out? Is it determined based on what the spot price is? A little bit, but it's determined based on there's 10 of them. But again, it's Sorcerer Mickey. Yeah, maybe when you're 10 years old, you might like it, but now I would not risk my money on that. I'd much rather have 20, 22, 23 ounce, 1 ounce gold coins. Now it's the gold goes up $100. I made 2,200 on. So that's what you're looking at. And then here again, the Philharmonic for some reason, 32.54. I really don't get that. That's to me a steal. Plus, I like the look of the Philharmonic, but I mean, here's 33.09 for the maple leaf. You're going to give me $50 off. I'll take the Philharmonic all day. I don't know what this guy's doing with his maple leaf. This might be a out of stock thing. No, he actually doesn't. Yeah, so I don't get it. So I can get the maple leaf for 32.29 versus 33.09. I'm saving $80. Now it makes sense. The Philharmonic's actually $25 more than the maple leaf. So you're really questioning, why is this guy so cheap on the maple leaf? He probably put it out there a couple days ago. So the eagle is 33.44. So that's what you're expecting on the eagle. So again, stay away from the $69,000 Mickey Sorcerer or Donald Duck or any of these, because you're not buying them as a collectible. You're buying them as an inventory. And therefore, you're not looking to get the Sorcerer or something. Now, I did buy the Highland Mints. I do have Bobby Orr and Michael Jordan and Kobe, Emmett and Barry. But I bought those in 1993, 94, and they were only $16. And so then I did buy it because I was into the card collecting. And so I was able to buy the coins because I like coins too. And again, silver was probably $7, $8 an ounce. So the coin cost $16 for the silver, but I knew it was $9.99, 1 ounce of silver. So I figured it's $16, but I add on that it's Michael Jordan, and those are worth a lot. They're worth like $150, but you're involving coins and sports, which is always going to sell. And I didn't pay anything for it. It's not like I forfeited anything, and they were fairly limited. So that's the key to it. But normally you're just buying the gold and silver. That's our plan. Spot goes up $100. We got 50 ounces. We just made $5 grand. Simple as that. The other thing I'm noticing on here is all the different markets. We got 32.49 for the Cougaran. We got 32.77 for this Great Britain. We got 32.60 for the Maple Leaf, and we got a Kangaroo for 3,300. And so you can see if you shop around, there's 100 different markets for your gold. It doesn't matter, and it's okay. So if you buy the Philharmonic, but you save $60 on it, and gold goes up, now it's at 5,000, and it's still this $50 difference from the Philharmonic to the Eagle, and you're like, well, that's fine because I paid $50 less for it. I didn't pay the same amount and it's worth less. I got a discount of $50. And my guy does that also. So my guy sits there and he goes, well, here's the Eagle. Now, this is a couple of weeks ago at 3,022. Spot was like 29. Look at it. In a couple of weeks, the spot went from 29 to 31. The Buffalo is also 3,022. But look at the Cougaran. It's only 29.50, or it's 29.82. It's $40 cheaper. And then the Maple Leaf's 29.97, I believe. Yeah. 29.97. So when I'm buying them cheaper. And I said the spot's the key. So I buy them cheaper. Now, if I take them back, I don't get as much for the Cougaran, but I didn't pay as much for the Cougaran. So it's a wash. So if I get $40 less, if I went in today, but wait a minute, I'm buying it for $40 less. So it all boils out to the end. But you can see the difference. The Eagle 3,022, the Cougaran 29.82, and the Maple Leaf 29.97. So you can see the differences in the different. Now, why are you discounting? They're all gold, right? You're buying gold. Spot gold is what, 31, let's say 31.30 right now. That's where spot is. It's not Philharmonic gold. It's not US gold. It's not Canadian gold. It's gold. Why are these prices different? It doesn't make any sense. When the shit hits the fan and the Titanic starts sinking, you won't see a difference. Gold's at 10,000. The Titanic sunk. You can't get any more. What do you think you're going to get when you go to the coin store? Well, you got an Eagle, that's 10,000. You got a Buffalo, that's 10,000. Oh, you got a Maple Leaf, that's 10,000. And you got a Cougaran, that's 10,000. And you got a Philharmonic, that's 10,000. They're not going to discount it because they're going to want to get gold in, because that's this guy's business, is to get the gold in and mark it up $100 on premium. So he's not going to care what he gets. He can try. Well, I'll give you 95%. Okay. But it depends how badly he needs it. And he's going to need it badly because there's not going to be any gold around to get. That's going to be very scarce. This is the other point you must understand. This is why you must buy now. It's not going to be there. And by the way, Prophet, if you wait too long getting your gold, your insurance is going to go up quite a bit. Because if your insurance and shipping is 4,000, which includes insurance, and now gold's at 5,000, well, it ain't going to be 4,000. It's going to be like 6,000, because your value of your gold has gone up. So keep that in mind. All right. I think we've covered eBay fairly good. Let's go to our basketball. We finally hit them. Sunday, Houston under 125 wins, and Michigan State under 147 wins. So I finally hit both games. Houston, tough defense. I came out of the pool and I go to the bike, and it's like 4:30. I can't believe the game's still going on. Started at 2, and it's now 4:30, and they're up like 50-40. And I know my total's 125, and it took forever. All of a sudden, in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, they scored like 30 points. But I think they were 120. No, it was 119. It was 69-50. That's what defense does for you. Not only do they win, but they kept the game score. They kept the game low where they only scored 50 points on them. And then you had the other game, Michigan State and Auburn, and that was an under, and that was another 50-40 type of game. I'm not sure Michigan State got 60 points in the game. One of the things is Michigan State slows the ball down, and they don't take any 3-point shots, very few. Until they were down at the end, did they start taking it. Well, you're welcome, Prophet. Again, I was talking to Alyssa yesterday, and I was telling her about the price fixing, and I said, nobody else thinks like me. And she says, yeah, I know nobody else. You're very rare that you think the way you do. And this is a perfect example. Here, knowing gold's going to go up, by the way, your shipping's going to go up. By the way, why do I care if I buy an Eagle or a Cougaran or a Maple Leaf when it's an ounce of gold? And that's what we're going to really benefit. So the benefit there is going to be we bought it for $50 less, but when we go to sell it, when it goes up, if we even sell it, it's all going to be worth the same. There's not going to be a differentiation. If you got an Eagle, a Maple Leaf, or a Cougaran, oh, you got an ounce of gold. Keep that in mind. So Michigan's play a strong defense, rebound well. They're a good defensive team, and they don't shoot a lot of 3-pointers. I think what got us in that one game, Alabama game, when they hit 700 3-point shots. Then they went up against Duke. They didn't hit any 3-point shots. So that's why defense matters. That's why you're betting on the defense, because they'll always show up, but all of a sudden the guy can't shoot, can't score where he could the other day. So keep that in mind. So let's look at the Final Four. Take a quick look at that, although I don't think we have. I'm not sure we have odds yet. All right. I don't see odds on Yahoo. I probably can get it, but I don't care right now. All the 1 seeds made it. I know, Prophet, you got Houston to win it all, and you're going to be mighty close. We got Florida and Auburn. Florida 34-4, Auburn 32-5. I don't know who won the SEC. Did Florida win it? And I mean, I think Florida's got the better team. Auburn, I don't know. That one guy doesn't impress me. Their guards are okay, but I haven't seen Florida yet. But they look very good. So I think Florida's a live dog here if we get them as a dog. I don't know, over, under, probably over. We'll see. Houston goes against Duke. These are on CBS. This is Saturday at 6 o'clock and Saturday at 8:49. Houston at Duke. Houston's a very live dog and a very live under. Duke's got the one player, 35-3 versus 34-4. My guess is Duke will be a 5, 6 point favorite, maybe 7. Total will be in the 130s. And so I think it's an under game. Houston doesn't really score that much, and they got the killer defense, so they'll show up. Florida Auburn probably goes a little high scoring on it. Again, this is Saturday night, and then Monday is the final of these two, and then the following week's the Masters. Well, let's quickly look at the NFL. Was there any change? Did Aaron Rodgers sign? Maybe he's back at Green Bay. Tush push proposal tabled by owners of NFL spring meetings. NFL owners might right call not to ban the tush push for now. Okay, I don't know why. It's not football. Draft time. Are Titans all in on Cam Ward at number 1? I thought they were. Now all of a sudden they're not. I wouldn't waste the draft this guy in the first round. Where's Dylan Gabriel? Nobody talks about Dylan Gabriel, which I don't understand. Like, was he not really good at Oklahoma and then at Oregon? I don't get it. The guy from Indiana, guy from Texas State and North Texas. What the hell? Then all of a sudden, Jackson Dart. Why is he up there? He had a good workout. Well, that doesn't matter. How was he in the games? That's why you got to look at the games, because you got pass rush and you're in uniform, and you got to make the play. How are you on 3rd and 5? That's what you look at, not when there's nobody around, you're in shorts and you're just running around. You go, oh, wow, he's an athlete. Let's draft him. Steelers owner Art Rooney, the second on Aaron Rodgers, pointing in that direction. So the Steelers will probably sign Aaron Rodgers. Oh, okay. So it looks like he's going to. So it looks like Aaron Rodgers will go to Pittsburgh. And they got DK Metcalf. Russell Wilson's on the Giants. Minnesota needs a quarterback. And Atlanta's got Kirk Cousins sitting there. Oakland needs a quarterback. So does Seattle. San Diego and Denver are all set. Casey's got Mahomes. Baltimore, well, they need a quarterback. They've needed one for years. Actually, they don't. Cooper Rush is probably pretty good. Richard Sherman says armed invaders broke into his home and with family inside. Now, how do we analyze this? Are we worried about our gold in the house? Somebody's going to steal it. Well, they don't know who we are, and they don't know we have it. I'm sure Richard Sherman had a pretty big fucking house, and everybody knows who Richard Sherman is. So they know he's got a lot of valuables in it. So I'm not as worried. It's like me talking about Musk on Doggy. He's sitting there going, look at all the waste I found and everything. Well, we know the whole government's corrupt. I said, if I was doing it, you'd never see my name and you'd never see me doing it. I'd be behind the scenes. Trump, we found this, we found that. Don't tell him about me. I don't want anybody to know, because he's in big trouble, because when you start taking money out of the Russian mafia's hands, they don't just sit down and take it. So he needs to be careful, though. Prophet, why is Duke playing Houston in one of the semis that should be the final? Because that's how the bracket's set up. You can't ask why are they playing. All you can do is they are playing and go from there. But you can't say why are they playing, because that's the bracket. That's what they're doing. This is the game. All right. Let's go to baseball. Who's this Jackson Profar? He's doing steroids and gets an 80-game suspension. Really? He's this stupid. Unbelievable. All right, let's look at the scoreboard for today. Well, Detroit had a 7-0 lead, and they won 9-6. Interesting. All right. So let's look at today's games. Not till 6:40. We got the Mets and the Marlins. It's really too early to do this because we don't have enough data to look at the pitchers. The Mets have Cody Senga, 0-0 with an 0-0 against Sandy Alcantara, who used to be good on Miami. We used to bet on him. He's 0-0 with a 3.86. Not enough information. Texas plays at Cincinnati. Texas favored 145, 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi, 0-0 with a 3. Carson Spears, never heard of him on Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, Tampa. Tampa's 175-9. In Tampa, I never heard of these guys. Harrington against Boz. I think we've heard of Boz. Arizona at the Yankees. Arizona's favored. Corbin Burns, 0-0 with an 0-0 against Will Warren. 0-0, no. Why did Baltimore let Burns go? I don't know. Now, you can't assume he's the same pitcher. Now he's at Arizona, a whole different ballpark than Baltimore, right? So that's why, like, the Tigers didn't get Bregman. Well, he might not have been any good because Houston's in a small ballpark and he gets a lot of homers and a lot of hits. Detroit's not a hitter ballpark. Very hard to get home runs there. There's no carry and it's deep. Center field's like 430, 440. So Bregman probably wouldn't have done anything in Detroit. If I was a hitter, I wouldn't come to Detroit. I'd go to Boston or the Cubbies or something like that. But the last place I would come to Detroit. So very difficult to be a hitter there. So we'll see. Corbin Burns at the new team. He's played against the Yankees enough, so that shouldn't be a surprise. Washington, Toronto. Toronto 178.5. Trevor Williams for Washington. Jose Berrios 0-1 with a 10.80. Now, if this was 5 or 6 weeks in, I'd be all over Washington because Berrios has a 10 ERA, but it's probably been one game. KC Milwaukee, Lorenzen for KC, Chad Patrick for Milwaukee, another 18 ERA. So he probably paid 2 innings, gave up 3 runs. He's got an 18 ERA. Minnie in the White Sox. Woods Richardson for Minnesota. Shane Smith for Chicago. Who knows? California against St. Louis. Kyle Hendricks for who was he? Wasn't he on Chicago or something? California and Matthew Liberatore for St. Louis. Both are 0-0 with the 0-0-0. Frisco and Houston. Logan Webb against Hayden Wisniewski. Frisco's a 120 and an 8 at Houston. Houston really has good players in the farm system. So when they lose somebody, they usually have a good player behind them. They're very smart picking their players. Cleveland at San Diego. Logan Allen against Michael King. Michael King with the 10.13 ERA. These pitchers are terrible. Detroit at Seattle. Casey Mize 0-0. He's always hurt, this guy. Logan Gilbert 0-0 with a 1.29. Who knows? I doubt it's an under. The over-under is 7. Seattle is a 170. Mize is terrible. He's a big flop. He was the first pick of the draft. He's done nothing in 5 years. Always injured. The Cubbies against Oakland. Justin Steele for the Cubbies. 1-1 with an 8 against Luis Servino. 0-0 with an 0-0 for Oakland. And then we got Atlanta at the Dodgers, who are going to be favored every game. Oh, this is only a 140. Chris Sale, that's why. 0-0 with the 5-4 against Dustin Mays. 0-0 with an 0-0. So keep your eye on Chris Sale in that one. You wonder why they're only a 140 favorite. And from what I understand, their first baseman from Atlanta, can't think of his name, slipped in the shower and fell. Here's a professional athlete. Where's your water shoes? Slips in the shower, falls, is going to miss a few games. Unbelievable. All right, so that's baseball. Nothing new in football, although it looked like Pittsburgh will get Aaron Rodgers, which makes sense. You didn't fuck around getting DK Metcalf for nothing. All right. What do we got on YouTube? If you have a cross in your hand, this means something. Do I have a cross? Oh, I do have a cross. How exciting. I wonder what I am. Use this and end up like this. It scares me. Death starts in your legs. Keep working out your leg. Johnny Petragula. Gotta love Johnny Petragula. Boom. I always like that guy. He has a 300 one out there I watched, even though I knew he'd throw a 300. I love videos like this. How undervalued is silver in 2025? We don't have an idea. We know silver's up here. We know the price is there. How undervalued? We don't know what this is. You cannot make this comment. How undervalued is it? We know it's not at market because it's not a free market, right? Alyssa's setting the price, not the market, right? So we don't really know what the market will pay for it. We know it's 32. We know it's suppressed because JP Morgan, once it hits 35, has to then, once it hits 35, is in trouble, and they're going to lose all these derivatives they got to cover. So as long as it doesn't go to 35, they're okay, and they're fighting to keep it under 35. And every country is buying it probably from the mines or somewhere else. But again, JP Morgan is fucking around with it. So don't be surprised. But what you can do is buy it, knowing brics is going to raise the price, and the solar panels, and the fact the dollar's going out and gold's getting so expensive that you'll have to buy silver. But what kind of video is this? How undervalued? You have no idea. You have no idea what the price is. We guess $10,000 gold, but we can see it's moving because of that. We can't guess silver. I mean, I did say 1,000 an ounce. That seems about right, just because it's been suppressed so long. But that's really where it's at. It's a suppressed price. Silver probably about 1,000, I would call, but I wouldn't do a value. How undervalued is silver for 2025? I'd sound like an idiot. I mean, all right. I just started to watch this one. Tariff chaos is coming. Really, what that's going to be is prices will go up. So here's your market, right? I will pay this for that. My Canadian Club whiskey, I will pay $70 for it. Okay. Here come tariffs. So what happens with tariffs? This goes up. The cost goes up. So either you raise the price or you lay off people. That's the point. So either you're like Applebee with not enough people, or you make hamburgers $20 and then nobody buys them. Either way, you're fucked, because your costs have went up and you have to figure out what to do with them. So is your price going to go up? Probably. That's what tariffs are. They add cost. But the market, this is why I argue, the market doesn't just say, yeah, no problem. I'll pay $25 for a New York strip or eggs or Apple Jacks. I mean, no, the market says, like I did yesterday. I I got, what did I get? I got chicken. I went to my meat place and chicken was $4.29 a pound. And then I went to Myers, it was $2.29 a pound. Now, is it the same quality? Probably pretty close. Chicken's chicken. So I saved $2 a pound on it. So therefore, you know, why pay more for the same item? Especially like cantaloupe and honeydew. It's so much more at the meat store than Myers, and it's cantaloupe. What are you gonna tell me? So anyway, that's what tariffs are. They're gonna make the costs go up. The market's here, and this is my argument. The market will not go up to meet the higher cost. The market stays here, and then you've got to lower your costs, so there's no price increase. But the company over here is the one that gets fucked, because now my costs go up. I can't raise my price to cover it. So now, to stay here, I'm laying off people and finding other things to cost cut. And that's what tariffs do. They raise costs, which makes you think the prices are the most obvious thing to raise to offset the cost increase, except the market won't take it. The market says, no, I can't afford it. We have massive inflation here. Not going to pay for it. So now you're trying to sell it and you can't sell it. You've got to lower your price. But I can't, because my costs have went up. Now I'm going to lose, and then it's bye-bye. You go out of business, as we saw with Boston Market yesterday. All right, they're out of business. That's it. So that's what tariffs are. So it's going to kill all the economies. It's not really good for gold. Gold is when the money is worthless and you want gold instead of the money. Tariffs don't really do that. I mean, they might make gold more expensive, but they shouldn't. One thing's got nothing to do with another. Here we got, everybody is leaving Europe. Okay. And then, so one of the comments was, where are they going? Why are they leaving? Costs are too high. The governments are corrupt as hell. They're stupid. They're not listening to the people. I mean, it's a nightmare in Europe, because the government is no longer, we vote you in to do what we want. You're supposed to represent us. So if you guys made me Senator Corleone, Governor Corleone, I would make sure we could all bet football and we could have gold, would not be interrupted. That's why you elected me. But if I get in there and start taking payout from lobbyists and I stop the gold and I stop the football betting, you're like, what the fuck? What do you, that's not why we elected you. Yeah, but the lobbyist gave me $1 million. So I just said whatever he wants for the $1 million I took. That's the greed and corruption that we have in the government. That's the problem with it. They take the lobbyist payouts, only most of it comes from the military. And they go, well, we need a war. Can you send us a war in Ukraine and Russia and Israel, and we'll fight Iran. We don't care where we fight. We just need to sell more of these guns. And that's something you should not cross that line with. So everyone is leaving Europe. I don't know about that, but where are you going? And it depends on your degree. If you got like a degree in IT, you might go to Silicon Valley, or you might go to China, or someplace that you can thrive with your degree. These 4 grains destroy cancer and melts away belly fat. What were the grains? I don't know. There's a few of the strange ones that I never heard of. Silver squeeze alert. So this is the bubble head from the other day. That's all silver squeeze. And I commented it won't work, and it didn't work because the market's controlled by my Alyssa, not the market. And she says the price is going to be $33 for silver, and that's the price. We ignore the market, and that's the problem with it. But she needs to understand that gold's a little bit more controlled because it's basalt. You have to deliver it, but you don't have to deliver silver. Profit. Do you have any idea why Trump wants to buy Greenland so bad? I have no idea. I assume it's partly the minerals, partly because Russia's close by. And so he wants to keep an eye on Russia. Although you got satellites, so I don't know about that. There must be something. It must be because of money. It's worth it. I think it's part that, part he doesn't want to have China or Russia having it. He's posturing to say, hey, we want it just to say it. So you go, oh, look at Trump's doing. He's very much into himself. So a lot of the things he says is for effect, like the Panama Canal and that. Okay, so I wanted to talk about one other thing. Hundreds of millions of Chinese disappear. Musk reveals. Yeah, I'm getting tired of Musk with this shit. We can find it on our own. Well, we saw a lot of them are going to Vietnam where the jobs are, so they don't have to pay tariffs. A lot are homeless, so they're just trying to survive, and they might go to Singapore, Taiwan, or other countries to get away from it. Pat was on. There was a thing on Singapore, how good they are. There was just a very nice. They're like the top country in the world. They're the size of New York, but it's breathtaking and low taxes and a lot of gold. Our kind of city. But Chinese are disappearing there because they're broke. They can't get their money out of the bank, so they can't eat. So they have to get out of there where they can grab their money and go. Now, I don't know if this is everybody in China can't get their money out of the bank or certain people, but we've seen where people go to the bank, can't get their money. They got $1 million in there, which is about 150,000, and they go to get it and they can't get it. Now, how many people is this happening to? 20,000 or 20? And then let's do a video on the 20. Not sure. Prices falling too fast. All of Shanghai is selling houses. Well, that we know. When you're moving out, it's good to sell your house before you move. Excuse me. Silver price explosion in April with the question mark. Alligator. Last chance to buy silver, alligator. You know, now you got time to buy it unless they run out. At this price, they could run out before the price goes, but the price is going. If you have an extra 500, go buy 20 ounces or whatever you can get for it. All right. So this girl hits me up on LinkedIn. She sees my background, Austrian economics, master's in finance. She says, "Wow, you could help me. I want to learn what you know." Da 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 da. So instead of asking me for my advice, she starts talking about investments, and I'm getting this shit. And this really helps understand what's going on in the U.S. Currently, I am mainly focusing. This is her talking to me. I'm mainly focusing on the fields of AI and cryptocurrency, which are very popular in the United States. A large number of investors are pouring into them and looking for opportunities. Do you know them? Me talking, I stay away from cryptos and stocks. I don't trust crypto. I think it's a Ponzi scheme since it's not real. Why do you think cryptos are a good investment? Now, this is what I wanted to understand why somebody likes crypto. If this is not a good investment, why is Trump and the current US government driving this market? Well, if Trump says it's a good market, it's a good market. And plans to implement a Bitcoin strategy reserve plan to ease the pressure on US Treasury bonds. Did you know that there are more than 50 million cryptocurrency investors in the US looking for opportunities in this market? My response: there are clueless. Don't be a sheep. I know what's good and what's a Ponzi. How many people were in Madoff? So, understanding what the fuck she's doing, this other girl who, similar thing, made a comment that I go, I'm in crypto. So all these crypto people are reading me, and like I'm in gold and silver. I'm not in crypto. I think they're trying to sell me as a Ponzi scam to buy crypto from them or something. My dad does this whole data analysis, and when the market goes up, I win, and when the market goes down, I win. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. That's a Madoff. It doesn't make sense. So she tells me, I go, why are you buying crypto? What is making you buy it? She says it goes up. I go, do you know why it goes up? She says, no. Well, why are you buying? Why are you in it? She says, well, I'm in it because it goes up. So I said, so if all the sheep jumped off the hill, you would jump off too because all of them are jumping off, which is basically what it is. So these idiots are buying crypto because it's going up. Well, it has been going down lately. So they're in it because it goes up, but they don't know why it goes up. And you just sit there and you just shake your head. You're like, oh my God. How do you buy something that you don't know the value of? And I said, I don't like it because I don't know what you can't see it, you can't touch it or feel it. You don't really know what it is, or you just assume it's limited, but you don't know that either. I go, it's just air, right? Oh, here's crypto. I got a crypto. I got another one. I mean, they're not real. How do you value air? And how do you give 80 grand without knowing why it's going up or down? And this is the problem. So she's buying it, and I kind of said, this is like a Madoff to me. I don't know that it's even real, and not that I'm into it, but at least let me see what it is. Let me see the coins. You can't show them to me because they don't exist. So anyway, excuse me. Um, anyway, so why are you buying? The answer is because it's going up. Like I explained gold to you pretty good, right? Gold and silver, why we buy it. It's limited. There's no substitute. It's the lifeboat. It's because the dollar's collapsing. I'm in gold. I'm in silver. We know why it goes up because of the price fixing and why it doesn't. So um, but with crypto, what is it? We don't even know. Why does it go up? We don't even know. It's just a Ponzi scheme. It goes up because I don't know. People are buying it. Are they? You don't know why they're going up. You know why Willie Mays goes up because demand. People say this is what I'm going to pay for it in a free market. This is what it's worth. Is that what we're doing with crypto? I can at least see Willie Mays. I can hold Willie Mays. I can't do that with crypto. I don't know what it is. And I'm certainly not going to buy it because it's going up. So I'm a sheep. I'm only going to buy it because you bought it. What good's that going to do? So this is the problem. And plans to implement a Bitcoin strategic reserve plan to ease the pressure on U.S. Treasury bonds. No, they're totally unrelated. The reserve doesn't hold water because we have no money for a reserve. We're 37 trillion in debt. We have a $2 or $3 trillion budget deficit. What kind of reserves are you talking about? He was talking about gold, but there's no gold in Fort Knox. So you can't do a reserve. You certainly can't do it with Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't exist. It's not government money. You can't. What are you going to buy it and then what? Where are you going to store it in Fort Knox? Yeah, you see this? This is Bitcoin, and I'm going to store it in my safe. What kind of crap is that? So I'm not buying that. Did you know there are more than 50 million cryptocurrencies investors in the U.S. looking for opportunities in the market? Wait, are there 50 million who own crypto or who want to buy it? Crypto investors in the U.S. looking for opportunities. Where's that number coming from? That's a guess. And they're all going in crypto and they're all going to go broke. And if they should be going into gold and silver, but why aren't they? Well, silver doesn't move and gold, well, it's not real money. And, it does because they don't move. Well, because they're price fixed. But with brics, the variables change and now gold's moving and silver will be moving shortly in July. So just hold on. But those are real money. These are real money that you can hold in your hand that has a value. It is price fixed by J.P. Morgan, but how long can he keep it? Because what you're doing is you're putting bait out there for China and Russia and Germany, I guess, and all the European countries who are their dollars going out, and they can get silver way cheaper than they should be able to. And that's where how long does JP Morgan hold the price down? Because you're inviting all the sharks to come and take it. If there's even any left, which I doubt. So there's no silver left in the tank. you're inviting the sharks to come and buy it for $33 an ounce if there's any there to buy. So of course the price has to go up. So why aren't you buying gold if the price of gold's going up? So cryptos are a good investment. Um, and Trump's making a big deal about what's he say? So basically, it's Trump's doing this reserve, and the price is high, so I'm going to buy it because the price. These are what's called morons, right? And this is what you have. And I don't know why they're hitting me up on LinkedIn, wanting but they don't want my advice. They're trying to tell me to get into crypto, and I says I'm into gold and silver. I don't own any crypto. It's a Ponzi scheme. And they totally just ignore. Then what are you bothering me for? I told them I do the class on Teaserking. Go on there and watch it. I don't have time to sit there and spoon feed some of these girls on LinkedIn who have crypto who aren't even really serious about gold and silver. So what the fuck? Go watch the video. That's why I do the class. I do it live, but that's why it's still there. You can still watch it. Do you guys like the thumbnails I've been putting up with the little Bellagio and Caesar stuff? I don't know how they do it. Like they'll put the gold up for alligator and his face in the gold. And I don't know how to do that. So I put sometimes my face or sometimes Vegas, the poker room, the stuff like that. So I hope you like it, but I'm trying to get more creative. Instead of just seeing me like this, you can see me. You can see Vegas, which picks us all up. Anyway, so this is what you have. This is why you have people buying crypto because it's going up, because they want to make money. They don't have time to learn it. They don't understand the variables and the risk, but they see Bitcoin going up, so they buy it. So when are you buying it at $87,000? And when it goes to 80, you're losing 7,000. How's that working out for you? So you just question it. It's very hard to get into now because it's already whatever in the 80s. It's not going to 160. And one girl said, "Well, Trump's doing this whole reserve thing, and we're going to be the leading crypto country in the world." I'm like, it's all bullshit. They got him elected, supposedly. I don't know if they did or not. Of course, he's got to pay them back, but he's got to say it, but he's not going to do it because he doesn't have the crypto to do it with. It's not the government's crypto. It's Mr. Fuji, whoever that was in Japan. So therefore, there's not a lot of crypto left, and it's going to cost you $86,000 for it. How much do you? First of all, the U.S. has no money. How much do you think they're going to buy and leave in the government account? And then Trump did his, and everybody lost their ass on it. It sold at 60, and now it's down to 10. Yeah, I really trust cryptocurrency. Or the crypto queen with the one coin I told you about, where she scammed all these people out of billions of dollars on something that's not real. Well, none of it's real. Okay, you're making money in Bitcoin. I'm happy for you. Get the fuck out. Sell it and get into gold before you can't get into gold. It's okay to take your profit. You stumble into Bitcoin. It's like stumbling into Madoff. You're in Madoff. It's gone up. Take your profit and leave. I get that from how I gamble, which is what I told you. So if I'm at the craps table, I'm going to lose. So if I get up $5,000 in craps, I'm going to cash in and leave. I did a miracle. I made money at the crap table or roulette or backrack or anywhere else. I'm going to take the money, take the profits, and get out. I don't want to stay in. The longer I'm at the table, more I'm going to lose. For sure, I'm going to lose. If I stay at the crap table, I get up $5,000. Give me another hour, I'll be down $5,000 because the odds are against me. It's not. It's very difficult. Hey, David. Baseball's back. Yeah, we're just getting the stats. It's a little too early to tell all the pictures, but yeah, it's hard to believe. What is a torpedo bat? Um, is that like those other bats, the aluminum bats? Um, what are they, hollowed out and some? I don't know what they are, but you still got to hit the ball. You got to see the ball, hit the ball. That's how I coach my girls' fast pitch team. See the ball, hit it. Just keep your eye on the ball and swing at it. Because these girls can pitch fast, but they can't put a lot of spin on it. They're too young. But yeah, baseball, boring as hell. As I was showing you, I was showing you my guys. This is what is the problem with baseball. You don't have players like this. That's the problem. There's nobody to watch. I'm not watching Mike Trout, and I'm certainly not watching um, uh, Otani. No, sorry, not doing that. Um, so there's nothing to watch in baseball, unfortunately. But that's where you have the crypto crowd. They're chasing because it's going up. This is the reason you're buying. You don't know anything about the fundamentals. You don't know if it's real. It's not money because nobody will accept it. My barbecue guy will take silver, but he will not take crypto because he understands silver. He can put it in his hand. You cannot take crypto because crypto doesn't exist. Crypto isn't real. We don't know what it is. We know there's something. I love when when these girls say, "Well, it's the gold. It's digital gold." Yeah, no, gold is gold, not digital gold. It's like, do you want this Mano card or do you want a digital Mano card? Well, yeah, I'll take this one. Thank you. I want it in my hands. I don't want it digitally where they delete it or there's a million of them. No, no, thank you. It's all scams. The whole Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies are all scams because they're not real. At least here I can see it. I know this is real. As this is, as the Rolex is, as my Canadian club, this is real. I can hold it. It's real. And that's really the key to crypto. It's not real because you can't hold it. You don't know what it is. And that's really the problem with it. Anyway, what else? Anything else? Let's take our look. So be careful of these scams, but be careful of Bitcoin. If you get the chance and you bought it, get the hell out of it and go into gold and silver before they go to the moon. Because that's where they're headed. So let's take a look at how's our gold doing. Gold back to 31.33. See, look at you get the temporary. You get the temporary 31.25, which isn't too bad. So we're close to 31.50. That's when China had it. And then I think 2 o'clock's when Europe comes in. And Europe tries to shoot it down. I don't know why. And it did get down to 31.25. So it lost $20. Not a big deal. And then it shoots back up, got to 31.38. And now it's 31.33. And my guess, it'll probably end the day about 30. Well, it won't end the day because the day doesn't end. But at 5 o'clock when the U.S. gets out, my guess it'll be 31.40. And then China's been jacking it up. So you could see 31.70 when we wake up tomorrow. Silver, 33.60. Why is it going down? Because JP Morgan's price fixing it, and that's where he wants it. Nothing to do with supply and demand. Remember that. Buy, buy, buy. That silver squeeze worked really good, didn't it? Just amazing how stupid people are. Oh, well, I'll go buy and we'll watch the price go up. Oh, how is the price going to go up when it's not market priced? As my example is, Alyssa's saying the hamburger is $10. That's what it is. It doesn't matter how many people buy it or don't buy it. I'm making the price of this hamburger $10. That's what silver is. I'm making the price $33. That's what it is because Stone Cold said so. It's got nothing to do with the market. So everybody's buying and they're just ignoring it, going, I don't care. I want silver to be $33 and that's what it's going to be. So how do you fight that? By buying it? You can't. It's not a market price, so you can't do anything with it. All you can do is have them short it and then ask for delivery, and then they're not going to have, and then it'll break when Alyssa will say, okay, forget the $10 for the hamburger. I can't afford it. Nobody's buying it at 10. So I'm going to just let the market control it. So I'll market at 5. Oh, everybody's buying it. 6, 7, and then that's about it. $7 is the equilibrium where we get buyers. Okay, fine. That's what's going to happen with gold and silver. They'll just keep rising because they're so low. And then there'll be a point, it's up here somewhere, gold. So it's going to keep rising, and then there'll be a point where finally it goes over and nobody buys. But that's so far in the future because you printed this to death in every country. So all these people are going to need gold, and the last thing you're going to do is sell your gold to get back on the Titanic. So gold should just keep shooting up. There'll be more silver buyers once we get to July 1st, and no longer can JP Morgan keep the price at $32. But we know why he does. It's because of the derivative position they're in. They're going to lose trillions of dollars. Not because China wants to buy it, alligator. So that's what you have. Anything else? 33.58 silver, down 35 cents. Why? Not got anything to do with anybody selling an ounce of silver, and nobody's this stupid. Nobody should be selling their gold and silver unless you need the money to pay a bill. You're not going to do it. So keep that in mind. One other thing, my last thing was Social Security. So if you've been filing normally every month, you get a direct deposit. You don't really go in. It's already set up. You don't have to do anything. Now, about your income tax, I just had a big battle royal with the IRS, Social Security, trying to understand it. So apparently, what they told me was if I make less than 25,000, I don't have to pay tax on Social Security. They lied. If all my income is more than 25,000, so my unemployment and my Social Security and my job at Tenneco, even though Tenneco was not 25,000, and Social Security has nothing to do with if it's 25 or not. They take half of it and add it, and then unemployment gets added, which I was told doesn't get added. So let's say I made 5,000 on unemployment and 15,000 at the job is 20, but then I get 20,000 on Social Security. Well, you take half of that is 10. So you take the 5, I think, what was it? Let's say it was 15,000 at work. That's 20. And then half of what you made on that is another 15 is 35,000. You would pay tax on your Social Security. So when you add the 3 up, and if there's any other income you got, interest or dividends, which I don't have because I got gold, I don't have interest or dividends. So I said, look, I didn't make 25,000 at my job, and I was told unemployment has nothing to do with it. They're both lies. It doesn't matter. You do add your wages, your unemployment, and then half of the Social Security. And if that's over 25, you're paying taxes on it. Even though you were told that if you worked and you didn't make 25, you didn't pay taxes on it. So that's why I called the IRS to say, what the hell is this? Why do here's my situation. What do I got to do? And they said, no, you've got to, because that does total over 25, you've got to pay it. Then I was told unemployment's not taxable. They were wrong. It is. What a bunch of bubbleheads. So this is the problem of who do you listen to? So at the end of the day, you probably best call the IRS because obviously the idiots at Social Security don't know anything, and let the IRS tell you, yeah, it's 50% plus. Now, if I didn't earn any money, I wouldn't pay. Then it wouldn't. Then it would be half of my 30,000 would be 15,000, and it would be under 25, and I wouldn't pay tax if I didn't have a salary. But because I had a salary and half of Social Security, then I had to pay a tax. I mean, it was just, it blows your mind how stupid and incompetent it is. I hope Trump takes the tax away. So what he's trying to do is so you don't have to pay the tax on Social Security, which you shouldn't. I said to the IRS agent, I says, it's not income. It's I'm pulling my money back that I put into it. And same thing with unemployment. I says, that's not income. It's an insurance claim. You're doing a claim when you do unemployment. And then I go, why is it only 20 weeks? I could use it for 52 weeks. Why 20? So it's a big mess. They're just fucking us over right and left, which we know, which is why we're buying gold and silver to fuck them back. So anyway, the guy's going, did you have any capital gains? I go, no, I didn't sell any gold. I have no interest or dividends. I'm out of the banking system. So fuck off. So because it's not that I made 28,000 on Social Security and it was over 25, that had nothing to do with it. It's the combination of the three. And if that's more than 25, and now I didn't have to pay tax on the 28,000 of Social Security, I had to pay it on 8. Okay, fine. So it was a couple $100 here and there, but I wanted to know what was the accurate thing to do, which I found out. Anyway, so that's it. So again, if you've been getting Social Security, you don't have to do anything with this Trump thing. It's for businesses working, I guess. I hope. So I hope next Monday in my bank I get my Social Security. And that's about it. Any other questions, comments, torpedo bats, profit, anything? So keep that in mind. We're moving into a depression with the tariffs, just like 1929, all over again. So anyway, let me know if there's questions or comments. You can email me at www.teaserking.com. So again, I did want to talk a lot about the price fixing and this whole silver squeeze bullshit. Okay. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Just to show you example, but I thought the example with Alyssa was perfect where I told her, you're the one pricing everything. You ignore the market. This is the price I want to price it at. And that's basically communism, socialism. That's called price fixing. That's price fixed by the government, or in this case, JP Morgan, the banks, the mafia, price fixing it at the price he wants it at, not the free market price. So it doesn't matter how many people buy it. That's not the free market price. Anyway, that's about it. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com. We'll start doing some baseball picks in a week or so. There's really not enough data to start doing it. Just like football, you got to wait about 4 or 5 games in football for the new. Like we can do Mahomes and we can do Joe Burrow But the new quarterback, the rookie coaches, the rookie quarterbacks, you just got to wait. You just need enough data to use it to go, well, who is Caleb? And then the other problem is, what do they do with Caleb? They bring in an offensive coordinator to be the head coach. We'll make him the fucking offensive coordinator. And then he's not a good head coach. Just the fact he's a good coordinator doesn't make him a good coach, head coach. So you have problems there. It's sort of like what I say at work about the bad bosses. You have bosses that don't know what they're doing. And what are you supposed to do with them? He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's the boss. Like the guy I had at Tenneco, he couldn't barely speak English. He didn't give you, when he gave you work, he didn't give you direction, and he didn't give you a lot of work. And what are you supposed to do? I'm going to twiddle my fingers because you didn't give me any work. How can I possibly do anything? I don't know what you want me to do. So I read my notes and do some shit, but basically very non-productive. I'd be more productive, trying to do things. But that's the problem at most jobs. The manager is not qualified. Just like these head coaches who are head coaches now are not qualified to be the head coach. That's what you have. So that's what you got to understand is I think that's the problem with most of us at work. They're not qualified. It's very boring. And then you got to get your work done. See, I think the other thing with work is it should be based on productivity, not hours. These are what I need you to do today. Boom, 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 boom. If it takes you 5 minutes or 8 hours, this is what you need to do. And you should be rewarded because you can get them done in 3 hours instead of 8. You should be rewarded for that. But they don't reward you for it, When you're talking, well, that's because I'm fucking bored out of my mind and I've already done the work. The work's done. It takes me 10 minutes to do and I don't get rewarded for it. So yeah, I'm going to go talk and walk around because I got nothing to do. And I have no incentive to do more. Especially when you're contract, you don't get a raise. So I have nothing more to do. So why should I work harder? Why are you paying me by the hour instead of by the assignment? What do you want? You want me to do this? Fine. So anyway, it's like this. If it goes an hour, if it goes 2 hours, I get paid the same, nothing. But I cover as much as I want to cover here. So this is the way it should be. You come in and you stay or you leave, or you come back. That's fine. I mean, that's how work should be. You're here to learn, and now you've got it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you go. I am going to go eat, and I got to hit the pool. And I will talk to everybody tomorrow. www.teaserking.com. You want to get my email? It's on there. You'll see a lot of football stuff on there. And then, you know what? So don't be in crypto to be in crypto because it's going up. You have to have a reason. I can make money because of this, or I'm going to lose money because of this. You have to be sturgeon on what's happening. All right. Prices are up at the grocery store. If you have to go like I saw, I'll end with this. Coke was $3.60 at the meat store where I get my meats. And I went to Meijer's yesterday, it was still $2.99. So why pay 70 cents or 60 cents more at Kroger's than at Meijer's, right? For the same thing. Now, do you want to be driving all around the store? No, but I drive by both of them. So it's just do the one versus the other. All right, time to eat. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Okay, thanks everybody. Enjoy.